I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, dissect, and destroy guilty pleasure movies. And then we decide whether the film is truly spoilt milk, or whether it's ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, let's go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature, and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film, or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. First of all, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
I mean, we already said Happy New Year to each other on the Happy New Year podcast. Or was it a Christmas one?
Yeah, it was a Christmas one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We didn't say Happy New Year.
Christmas jumper on.
And there was lots of us.
Yeah, there was.
I have a Christmas t-shirt on now. Does that mean it's still Christmas?
Oh, yeah, you do. Why?
I'm going to have so much jip today, it's like January.
We've got a top three, which was sent in this week by Millie. Neil,
Bobby Brown? Oh.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Who's Millie Bobby Brown? Oh, is that...
The Stranger Things skinhead.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about, what's her face's kid?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston's kid who also died in a bath.
What?
Yeah. She died in a bath.
Yeah. God, she had some hard times. Kid died in a bath. Her husband picked poo out of her bum.
What?
Yeah, she got so drugged up that she couldn't go to the toilet, and she was really constipated. And Bobby Brown had to put his finger in and poke it out for her.
Because she's dead, isn't she?
Yeah, she's dead,
yeah.
And
but he's still alive.
her daughter died in the same way that she did.
Well, did she die in a bath?
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with that family?
I'm sure
You need
they
to get
died
a shower.
I'm sure they died the same way.
Didn't What's-Her-Face, who, that actress from 8 Mile, died in a shower?
Who did she? Brittany Murphy?
That's it, Murphy. I thought she died in a shower, so we're not safe either.
Just don't bathe.
I don't.
Just get a flannel wash.
Right, okay, so we've got our top three, and I don't know how he worded it. I sent it through to you guys, but basically it was saying if you could have cast somebody else in a role that already exists. That's how you guys read it, isn't it?
It were like
If
ambiguous
you could,
as fuck.
Yeah, it was quite long.
It was
what was
movie
it?
regrets, I thought you put or
Yeah.
something. So then I thought we went alternate roles as in what was almost cast, not our own opinion of what should be cast.
Because he said he wanted to see Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
that's
solid
what, when he
choice.
was saying about like dreams or whatever, I thought it was like who you would. We probably should have talked about this before.
We're not allowed to talk about it.
We're not.
Because what it was movie regrets / wishes.
Yeah.
He wanted to see Clint Eastwood as one of the characters that he's inspired, Judge Dredd in particular, or Old Man Logan, or why is Stephen Lang not being cast as Cable, or Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor.
What's his face was a great Cable.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. He was a really good Cable. I don't think Lang would have brought the same.
Maybe he meant Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted Stephen Lang in Cable Guy doing the lisp.
I mean, who else would you want? Not Jim Carrey.
No.
That guy's too serious these days.
Well, do you know what? Weirdly enough, I'm going to go first on this one.
Do
Because mine kind of involved Jim Carrey.
Oh.
But originally, they talked about, and I don't know if this is the right idea, but Robin Williams wanted to play the Joker in Batman. And then that didn't go through. It went to Jack Nicholson, but then they mooted him around for the Riddler, and then the Riddler role went to Jim Carrey. So I would have liked to have seen Robin Williams be the Riddler in Batman Forever.
I don't think he's evil enough.
You don't think he's... Have you not seen 1 hour photo?
Yeah, but that's creepy.
He's a snidey little prick.
That's creepy. That's not
but the
evil.
Riddler's not that evil, is he? He's just like a bit of a snidey prick.
Yeah, but imagine Robin Williams in
Tights.
basically a morph suit. I don't want to see his cock
He
and
is
balls.
more.
I don't want to see his cock and balls.
Oh, no. Did you see Jim Carrey's cock and balls?
And you pretty much saw the shape of his cock and balls.
I still
I
think
could
about
see
it.
inside him that suit with that tight.
Oh, I'd have liked to have seen Robin Williams' shape.
I mean, Robin Williams is was pretty built. Like he was never like a skinny guy. But you don't know if he was compensating for anything.
I just thought he had a really good mix of fun, comedy, and sinister and serious that he could have done.
I thought he was going. I just thought he had a really good
Set of balls. It's just some really low-hanging tin balls. He could have played the Riddler in dungarees.
I would like to have seen him play the Riddler, but as Mrs. Doubtfire.
With the accent.
Hello there.
I have not watched that film back since being a kid. Is the accent terrible?
It's fucking great.
What's the first name? What's Mrs. Doubtfire's first name?
Mrs.
It's something like Eugenia or something. Eugenia Doubtfire. She's got like a really crazy first name.
I don't know, should we have a look?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember a first name, but it is a solid film. But what you got to think about if Robin Williams was cast as a Joker or Riddler, you've got while he would be capable of doing that role, the direction he would have got and the era would have meant he wouldn't have done that type of. Don't think he would have gone that way.
But what I mean is, when they were talking about it, he was kind of first on the cast list. And I would have liked to have seen somebody else make a Batman film where he was the Riddler. I don't want him, like, plonking in that film, because that film's terrible. I think that's worse than Batman and Robin. Batman Forever. Have you found her name out?
Euphangina.
Euphangina.
So EUPH. Oof.
Yeah.
E.
Yeah.
And then GE.
Yeah, I think
NIA.
I think it's Euphagenia.
Euphagenia.
Euphagenia Doubtfire. Yeah, I'm sure that's what she says.
That's totally made up in every way. People should have guessed it as soon as they saw that name.
It should have been like, you're just a creep.
No one knows your name.
And?
Oh shit, we didn't even introduce yourselves. Hello, Hobo.
Hello.
Hello, Katty.
Hello.
That's a worse introduction. You wait until we're 5 minutes in and then go hello.
This is how we're doing it now. Right, so, well, that's mine. Let's
Okay.
go next.
I'm going to go next.
Nice.
Mine is literally for comedy value, but I would like to see Danny DeVito playing Bill in Bill and Ted.
What? As his age is in, he's clearly older than Ted.
Yeah, like Danny DeVito now playing Bill in Bill and Ted.
What, in the new Bill and Ted that they're making, or like
No, like
him now in the old
yeah.
one? But they do loads of like high-fiving in that film. That might look a bit weird.
Do you not think it'd be great watching Danny DeVito trying to jump and high five?
It wouldn't be a high five, would it? If you're going down.
Do you remember in Bill and Ted where the dad, they go into the dad's body in Bogus Journey?
Yeah.
He tries to do the guitar, and it ends up sounding like a
Classic.
banjo
It's
or
classical. Yeah.
something. What do you think his would sound like?
What? Danny DeVito's?
Yeah.
A musical instrument.
He'd be shredding.
What do you think his cock and balls are like?
Weird.
I
Short
imagine
but wide.
short
Or
and
like
tight.
a chode.
Oh, tight.
Because like how tight his skin looks on his forehead and face, I imagine it's just replicated underneath.
Like it's got some sort of weird infection.
Yeah.
Is that how, like, you think of people's balls as matching their face? Like, has mine got a beard and a moustache?
Yours are, loads of hair underneath the ball, but not on top.
Not on the top.
Well, actually, just a little flourish for a moustache.
Oh, that's what I'm going to call my moustache going
A
forward.
little flourish.
So, Danny DeVito. I don't even know what to say to that.
Do you not think it'd be great?
Well,
I can't imagine it.
I like the original how it is, but I do like the idea of Danny DeVito being in the new one as Bill, that maybe Bill got like
Just
trapped
shrunk.
in time somewhere and just comes out all a bit Danny DeVito looking.
What, and they just don't even explain it?
No.
Like, there's been films and TV shows where a person's not turned up for the sequel, like Back to the Future. where Elizabeth Shue doesn't turn up for the second one, and they're just like, so what? Like, it doesn't matter that it's a different person, just that. They're just like, yeah, that's Bill.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, that's the penguin. And like, no,
I
that's Bill.
hate it when films do that. Like, you're the weird one for noticing. Just watch the film.
Yeah, Back to the Future 2 shit.
No. But I like it
Whatever.
in Iron Man 2 where they do a little nod. Like, everything's the same, just carry on with it sort of thing.
Well,
Why
the
what change in
director,
Iron Man 2?
Terrence Howard didn't come back.
Who?
He was
They changed him
asking
to Don Cheadle,
for as
Who?
much money as Robert Downey Jr.
the guy who was in the first one, who was like his mate. And the director said, if you can fire Terrence Howard from a film, you fire Terrence Howard from a film.
Oh, really? John Favreau? Or the
Did he do
director
the
of Iron Man
second?
2? I can't remember, actually.
It was shit.
I don't know names, so just know faces.
He's in. Have you seen Hustle and Flow?
No,
Have
sounds
you-
shit.
He's in Crash. He's in Crash, isn't he? Is Terrence Howard
I
in?
don't know.
I think.
I can't remember that film.
Is it? No, maybe I'm wrong. Oh dear.
You're always wrong.
Hobo, what are you going for?
I was tempted because I heard, because I went for ones that they were looking to cast them as. So I heard that Sean Connery was asked to be Gandalf in Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god.
I really wanted to hear a Scottish
You
Gandalf.
shall not pass. But if he'd have worn his, what's that film where he wears that like red mankini? It's called something like Zoltar or something.
Yeah.
Oh
He wears
no,
like a red.
so that's off.
Yeah, that's from Dude Where's My Car.
Yeah.
No, but Zardos.
Zardos.
Yeah.
And he wears like a red mankini.
But I'm not going for that. I just wanted to hear you do the accent. I'm actually going for a more relevant one, which is Mark Wahlberg in Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, do you know what? I've never seen
Instead
it.
of whom?
He just said one of the leads. He didn't say specifically, so I imagine he got first
Yeah,
refusal.
but what would you rather it be? Would you rather be Heath Ledger and Mark Wahlberg, or is it Phoenix?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
No,
Jake
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
I always get him and Whacking Phoenix mixed up.
I don't think it matters as long as Mark Wahlberg's doing the same level of acting he does in The Happening, where everything is a question. Do you want to fuck me in the ass? Does nobody care about the bees in my butt?
I reckon his testicles are good.
Wahlberg's?
I reckon they're like muscly.
Like it's got a six-pack on each ball.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of balls in movies or TV shows.
No, I remember in Joe Dirt, there's like a dog's balls get frozen to a porch. Have you seen Joe Dirt?
No.
Yeah.
And someone gets a spatula.
But I mean, you're weirder for
Why?
noticing dog balls.
Yeah, it's because it always looked like chewing gum when they did it, and I always thought, like, but it looks really good, like the special effects.
Do you like
the
dog
practical
balls?
effects. Oh, they look so good.
I mean, there's loads of balls in Old School.
Is it?
Is it?
I've completely forgotten about. I know there's some balls.
They're streaking all of the time. You get to see a bit of ball every now and again.
What, like from behind, maybe through the leg nutties?
There's
What other films?
there's Waiting where, but I don't think you see proper balls because they play that game where you have to show someone your ball sack.
Is that
Oh,
like
is
Ryan
it?
Reynolds?
Was
Yeah.
it thumb or ball or something?
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Never
good
seen
game.
that either. Never seen that or Brokeback Mountain. They're both the same thing, really.
Yeah,
Aren't
pretty much.
Thumb or ball escalates to dick or toe.
I need to watch that film again.
I mean, not in the film. I just mean in real life.
oh right, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say I didn't remember it, but
I mean, I've not had the pleasure to play dick or ball, dick or
So
toe
what is
myself.
thumb or ball?
So thumb or ball is you open your fly and you either stick out your thumb or you stick out your ball, and you've got to guess whether it's thumb or
It's
ball.
how they'd be confusing.
it's like the ones online where people say, "Is this an armpit or an arse crack?" And it's just someone you take a picture really close of you, like
Oh,
the
I've seen those.
the crease, and
You
because
spend
it's a
too
bit-
much time online. So do you have any other reason why you want Wahlberg to be in?
No, I want it to be ridiculous.
Right. Okay then.
Both of my options are I want them to be ridiculous, kind of like Katty's just wanted to see where it went.
Very quickly, what were your other options? You said you had three,
Oh.
Katty.
Oh yeah, so I'll give you one of mine because the other one was just
Danny
ridiculous as well.
DeVito was dead.
No. Danny DeVito as Batman. No, my other one was Alexander Skarsgård as Thor.
All right, so that's quite a serious one then. Mm-hmm. You just would have liked that. Oh, well, maybe we can talk about that another time.
Pennywise guy.
No, that's his brother.
Oh, which one's
The one
that?
who's in Tarzan. And War on Everyone.
And True
That
Blood.
TV show.
No, I don't think I've seen him in anything.
It's the hottest Skarsgård.
Oh, okay, the hot one.
And what was your other one?
I heard that Hugh Jackman was offered a role for Bond in Casino Royale. I thought, I like him. He's got much more charisma than Daniel Craig.
Well, I thought this was quite a good topic to talk about because the casting of The Happening could have been different or better. But we'll call it time for our top threes and we'll come back to talk about The Happening.
Hey, Goat. It's good to see you. I like your beard. I had a beard like that in The Perfect Storm. Did you see that movie? Did you see The Perfect Storm, Goat? Say hi to your mother for me, okay?
Get back to the pod.
And we're back to discuss The Happening. Katty, what's it all about?
So, we've got a science teacher, his Mrs. There is something going on, some sort of plague going on, that is making people kill themselves.
That's about it, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that is it.
That's the skinny.
We can just end this now.
There's something happening. Is
there something happening?
Oh. It was like marketed as a horror, wasn't it? Like outright. Oh, you don't know what it is, but there's definitely something there. It's gonna get them.
There's some bits where it's like, all right, that's a bit grim.
Oh,
So
we're going right into what we think of it all then.
Well, we haven't said it's a Shyamalan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. What is it? It comes off Lady in the Water?
Lady in the Water, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was supposedly quite a big deal in America because it was his first R-rated film. So they don't have like a 15, do they? They have PG-13 and then it goes straight into R rating after that.
Don't know.
Whereas we have PG-12A, 15. And Sixth Sense, I'm pretty sure when that came out that was a 15. And then everything else after. Did they have 12As back at that time?
I don't know.
Not over here. Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't remember when 12A came in, but it was weird.
It was weird.
I was like, what's the point of this classification? Either you need to be 12 or it's a PG.
So we've got Mark Wahlberg. What's his character called? I can't remember now. I'm sure. I felt like nobody's name matched them in this film. She was called like Alma.
Yeah, Zooey Deschanel was Alma, which is like an old person's name.
It is an old person's name. What's that about?
I just kept thinking of Alba.
Albert,
the stereo?
Like the shit stereo.
Oh. I thought you was thinking of Jessica Alba.
No.
She wouldn't have been any good in this role either.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Who would have been good in these roles?
No one.
We were talking about like
no one. This film needs to be burnt.
So we know what you think about it already. You know, it starts off though quite creepy. We've got those two ladies in Central Park having the conversation. Everyone freezes. And then she does the old stabbing in the neck.
What's with
that
that
looked
though,
good.
where she's describing, it's like all the things they tell you not to do, he does. It's show instead of see, instead of say, show instead of say, but he lets the actors say what they're seeing rather than showing you.
Say what you see.
Yeah.
You see it, say it.
She's describing someone clawing out someone's eyes.
Yeah.
But then they do cut to a shot of a crowd.
But you don't see shit.
Yeah, like nothing's happening. It's not like there's a kerfuffle in the corner and you're like, trying to peek over and see what's happening. It's just a crowd. And you're like, is she making shit up? And then, because her friend's going a bit do-wappy in the head.
It's as if they were going to say, well, we'll just put a shot in later.
Yeah.
And then later came and they're like, fuck it, that'll do.
They never got the shot, so it's like, yeah.
So her friend stabs herself in the neck. That's a good, like, kill.
Yeah.
It looks good. I can't tell how they did it. Was it prosthetic?
They killed someone.
Yeah,
It didn't look like CG.
Straight up killed someone.
Yeah, it's just someone from the street. It
Just
happens to us all the time.
I will give you $50 if you stab yourself in the neck repeatedly.
Right.
I'm in.
I'd do that.
Yeah.
To be in a film. And then we cut to the building site as well. Again, I thought that was a really good kill scene. The smashing of the... You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well, the acting from the...
No, not the acting. I'm talking about pure, cinema deaths. We had the stabbing in the neck, which looked really cool, I thought. It didn't cut away. You could see it fully going in. And then the shot where they're looking up at the top of the building and the people are just stepping off and jumping.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't see where the cut was, if they were going to dummies, if it was CGI. And I thought that bit was really creepy. This kind of... If you were just at work and you're like, oh, what's going on? And you looked up and you're like, my mate... Jerry. I imagine you work with someone called Jerry, just threw himself off the top of the building.
And to be fair, that shot is coming 7 years after 9/11.
Yeah, there was
where
heavy.
There's people chucking themselves out of buildings. So
there was heavy 9/11 references in this film. Same year as Cloverfield as well, which was a bit of a... It was almost as if people were like, 7 years has passed, we can do this now.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. It's completely acceptable.
Yeah.
Don't South Park make that joke or something? They do a whole episode about it's now okay to make jokes about 9/11.
I don't know, I stopped with South Park a long time ago.
Yeah,
She's got on it. It's good.
I'm almost 30. I don't watch South Park anymore.
It's got political messages in it.
So's the news.
But it's not funny.
So's the news.
No, I mean, the news isn't funny.
Right. I thought that was a weird selling point.
Have you seen Jon Snow dancing?
Oh, yes.
That's on Big Fat Quiz of the Year.
And? Just imagine,
That's not the news.
You imagine Jon Snow dancing while he's telling you that all these people have died in, the Gaza Strip.
It was just weird pointy dancing.
Same dance every single
really
year.
is,
It's great.
So we get this setup of people randomly killing themselves.
And there's no reason why.
Yeah, and I personally thought it was fairly creepy. And then we cut to Wahlberg in school as a teacher. I mean...
He's not a teacher!
He's not a teacher, is he? Talk about the most miscast person.
Have you guys read this article in the New York Times about the bees?
Oh, God. Oh, what was with his voice, man?
I mean, the bees are important. The bees are important.
Does nobody care about the bees?
Well, you do. He looked like every other character he played would have beaten Himmel. If his character in that film met the departed Mark Wahlberg, he would have murdered him. He was just shit.
He was such a dweeb.
He was a dweeb. And then when he started peeding on that other kid, and he was like, "You're really beautiful," or whatever, and he was like, "Your face is perfect." I was like, "All right, calm down."
The thing is, I don't think it was peed. I think he was just a bit retarded.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better
You nailed
word.
me on the head. I think that teacher had learning difficulties. There's the bit where he's talking about science. The thing about science is they just make it up, they're just a theory, but at the end of the day we never truly know what's happening. No, Mark Wahlberg, that's not how it is.
Maybe that's just Mark Wahlberg's take on science. It's like, right, we've got this role for you, do you think you can do it? Yeah, it's fine, I know all the science. I know it all. Don't worry about it. And he's like, yeah, the science of Mark Wahlberg is there is no such thing as science.
It's all just theories, but we don't understand it really.
But I did love the fact that in that scene, he basically was like, "I'm going to tell you what this film is about, which is that it's about nothing." And he's like, "Sometimes things just happen in science, and we can't really explain it, and you just got to go with it." And that's basically the plot of the film, that something happens in nature that you're just like, you just got to shut your brain off.
In any good film, in the first act, in the opening bit, they'll normally set up the whole premise of a film. But it's normally done in a very subtle way. So it's like, oh, look out for these themes, and it'll help you solve the riddle of what's going on. It's a little map at the start of the film, so they can go a bit off it, and we can do stuff which is more nuanced with characters. It's a little map to understand. This is the roadmap we're looking for. This is... We're just going to tell you. This is one of these films where at some point the Zooey Deschanel says, I'm just upset right now. She literally says those words.
Yeah, there's loads of people just like
This is my emotion.
Yes.
Yeah, there's loads of people just telling you like either their emotions or what's going on. So how do we get to they see it on the news, don't they? The principal comes in and then we're introduced to John Leguizamo's character. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi from Mario. John Leguizamo, and he's like, hey, we gotta... He's basically got the same voice as Mo from... He's like, we gotta do a math problem. And he's just like... Comes in, says that maths is his thing, because, again, you can't find out, he has to tell you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll throw some sums at it. I can't do his voice. And then... They all decide to get on a train. As I'm talking through this now, I'm like, what the fuck is this from? Like, so he gets his little kid, doesn't he?
This is also one of those films where throughout the whole of it, everyone turns on a TV exactly as the broadcast is starting and starts with all the information. That's the point.
And if they change the channel, it starts off at a perfect place again.
Yeah. It's all exact.
This film is so exposition heavy as well. And they're just like, how can we do it? We'll just cut to the news and we'll have someone just explaining
and
to
the
the
news,
audience.
because throughout the start as well, throughout the whole film, the timestamping when things are happening.
Yeah, why?
So the timestamp, when the event first starts happening and when the next event is hitting different cities and stuff. But after the first event, you already have a scientist on TV explaining that they know exactly what it is, that it's a chemical compound, it's natural. And this is like in a turnaround of about 2 hours, I think, or something like that. It's
science. It's a theory.
Yes,
that's a good point. It's a solid point, Katty.
So if you like flip to another news channel, it wouldn't have been a chemical compound that was natural. It would have been Korea.
I would have liked it if they flicked to one and went, Korea! At it again! Maybe with the Russians. Why didn't they just flick to Alex Jones or whoever that madman is? Like, oh!
Yeah, but I liked the way that it tapped into that kind of fearmonger news broadcasting terrorism kind of thing. I thought that was quite interesting. I'm trying to pick out interesting points. No,
that's real life. Like, you watch a film to get away from real life, and like watching a film and they're watching the news, just like, oh yeah, it's this. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
So then we meet Alma, don't we? It starts with this like ridiculously ultra close up on her face. What is with this film and the close ups? Why is every like
but
shot
because there's
is
nothing
just
going
this?
on in the background. That's why.
Yeah,
Have some face. That's
do
it.
you know what? When your villain is like wind, like, there were bits in this film where they were like, "Oh my god!" and we're running away, and it was just like wind
from wind chimes.
And I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Like, oh my god! Get on the floor!
Did anyone watch? Like, there's a couple of trailers. One of them was literally one poor editor trying to make it scary, and the thing that was attacking you, the bit where they normally at least show a flash of a monster, was the text. It was quickly zooming in the text with all the hits. So it's like boom, and then you cut to a character going, "Whoa,
God."
Yeah, sorry, go on, Zooey Deschanel, Katty.
So she's got a little texty thing going on with Joey. Did you notice that Joey was M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
His voice, he has to make his little appearance in every film, and he
self-centered prick.
Yeah, he cropped up as Joey talking about some tiramisu or something. I think that was,
I mean, I do like tiramisu.
Yeah, maybe it was like his sexual nickname. And he was like, because. No.
Isn't tiramisu a sex act?
I don't know.
A bit when you got the runs.
Oh.
Are you shitting on people while fucking them?
Jesus, Hobo.
If they ask for a tiramisu and they're holding a glass out. What am I supposed to think? They want...
You're gross.
I'd just be like, yeah, I'll have some tiramisu.
Oh, I do like tiramisu.
I do like tiramisu. It's like probably in the top 5 desserts.
Ooh, top 5.
Well, so it's time for me to start shitting then.
That could be our next top 3.
I wish I had a sound effect
Desserts.
board just to do the zzz.
But the acting in the whole of this was just...
But I don't... what have they been told? Because...
Nothing, obviously.
Wahlberg's not the greatest, but he can be good on his day. Again, Zooey Deschanel can be good. She's in New Girl every week, pumps out a new episode where she's good. So what have they been told to do?
I don't know.
Have they just been told, act confused every single time?
But it wasn't even confused, though. It was like I was watching some sort of fucking pantomime. Like... Someone's gone down to a community centre and just been like, right, I really want to make this film. I've got the best cameras in the world, but I've spent all my money on that, so you're my actors.
Yeah. But what's going on?
Have you seen someone's put a clip online? There's a bit where I think Mark Wahlberg's in the foreground, but it's at the back of him talking to the group, and Zooey Deschanel's there, and she is just frozen still. Her face is like mouth open, gawping. And this whole time he's talking, she doesn't move at all.
Is it like she's high?
Yeah, it is. And she can't believe what she's seeing. Like, maybe she's imagining Mark Wahlberg's face with a trunk.
There was a bit where, like, quite far into the movie, so lots of people have already killed themselves, and they were in those groups, and they split off, and then they started hearing the gunfire. Do you remember when they're in the fields, and you start hearing that, like, bang, bang... And he like goes, oh no. And she goes, what oh no? I'm like, well, what do you think, oh no? Like, one, that's a weird thing for a grown-ass man to be saying, oh no.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah, people murder themselves and you're like, oh no.
But then for her to be like, what oh no? I'm like, what do you think is fucking happening? You're in a world where people are killing themselves and you're hearing guns going off. How, like, and this is, I don't know.
I do feel I've been stuck in horrible conversations with stupid people like that where they won't even get the hint of whatever's going on around them. And you're just like, why do I have to explain
Is that
everything?
what it is then? Do you think it was like, you're just dumb?
I think in this film, everyone is stupid. I think everyone is... Their intelligence level has dropped.
But they're supposed to be...
He's supposed to be a teacher.
He's supposed to be a science teacher. Leguizamo's supposed to be a maths teacher, and then weirdly just gives his kid to someone else at some point.
This is our education system right now.
So he goes over to those people and says, can I get a lift? And then what he tells them is that there's only room for him. His kid's like 3 foot tall, and they've got like the size of a Jeep, and like, no, you've got to leave your kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right then, and gives it to someone who he doesn't even trust.
Maybe his kid's a shit, though.
Yeah, maybe.
He clearly didn't want that
Maybe
kid.
it weren't even his kid.
And then there's that weird turn as he gives Zoe the kid, like, don't take my kid's hand unless you mean it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're the one abandoning your child.
Everyone has these weird mood swings in this film. I mean, I'm sure we'll get on to Mrs. Jones in the second part or whatever, but weird, like... Is it because... Is he trying to be... Like, are you supposed to be distrusting of everyone because it gives some kind of rule around people act weird before they start? Is he purposely making people act weird so you're always thinking, oh, have they been taken by the wind?
No, because like when they've been taken by the wind.
I didn't know when they've been happened. I didn't know what to say.
It's like an immediate thing. Like they just kind of like walk off and like, oh, you know what, it's time for me to die, and then they kill themselves. It's not like it takes like 12 hours to kick in, like you're having some weird sort of come down and like, oh, I'm gonna die and then kill yourself.
But they don't know this at that point, do they? They've not really seen anyone do it. They've just seen it on the news.
I mean, we saw you were sat like chatting with a woman at the beginning. She didn't start like going all weird.
No,
and then,
I mean the
like,
characters in the film though. Have they actually seen it firsthand? They've only seen it on the news, haven't they?
No, they've seen a couple of people. Like they've seen. No, I
don't think they have. I think they're in the dark. Because John Leguizamo, I don't even know his character's name, something shit. He, like, goes off and gets in that car. Do you know what? I really liked that.
Julian.
Was it fucking hell? It's like I've heard that for the first time. I really liked that bit. One, I like the bit where he's talking about if you give someone a penny and then double it to 2p and double it to 4p. Because honestly, hand on heart, about a week before, I said the same thing to my wife and was like, how much do you think you'd get? She wasn't a fucking retard. Like that woman who was like, $10? Like, she wasn't that, but she was like, I don't know, a few thousand. So I like that he did the same thing to her. But the bit after where they crash the car... Well, first of all, they see all those dead bodies hanging, which looked quite
That was
cool.
the only thing that I thought, fucking hell, that's a bit good.
I thought this film was quite brutal. The bit where they fire out the front, and then he gets out, and then just sits there and, like, slits his wrists, and does it really calmly, and the kind of tearing noise, that, like, made me feel a bit sick. I was like, oh, I didn't like that at all.
It's just like scoring a bit of pork for some crackling.
Yeah. Well, shall we finish with part one and we'll come back with some more of the deaths in part two?
And the hot dog man.
And the hot dog man. They're in good shape.
Cham in another life.
Yes. See you soon.
Fuck the Spoiled Milk Movie Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to part two of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where today we're talking about M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening.
Shyamalams.
So... we're picking up with Hot Dog Guy, are we?
Yeah.
Plant lover.
the guy who's paid by Big Hot Dog to...
What the fuck what is he going on about?
Big hot dog.
I think it's an attempt to make him uncredible as a source of information. So when he gives you the answer of what's going on, you're meant to think, oh, that guy's crazy because he likes talking about hot dogs. However,
Who doesn't like talking about hot dogs, though?
True. I did have a hot dog today, and it was... Oh.
So
yeah, that hot dog statement was to make him uncredible for when he... Normally later they bring up the credible thing, and you're like, he's crazy, and then you find out, oh no, the crazy guy was right. But literally the sentences are right back to back.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone kind of thought it was the plants at that point. Was he the first one to say it? Oh, right,
yeah,
okay.
there was like the couple that had the nursery that were just like, oh, it's the plants.
Yeah, and he was talking to it. Okay, right, I want to ask you this as a serious question. What was the point of the show home? You know where Wahlberg goes in and he talks to the plastic plant?
Yeah.
And everything's fake and it's got fake wine glasses. What was the point of that?
I think it was just a reason to see all those people die again.
But why? Like, they made, like, kind of a thing about it and they're like, everything's fake in here. And I was like, oh, right, what's this about? And I've only just remembered now and I'm like, what was that about?
No idea.
Don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
Seemed... just a reason why people might gather all in one place again so they can show off what he thought, which was people gathering in one place being the issue.
Right, okay.
But that's the most I got out of that.
So they had these theories, didn't they, about being in groups, and the more you were grouped together, the more you'd fucked it, basically.
And there was suggested showing with the imagery, the bit where people hanging, that it was also anyone who had directly harmed the environment. So, the people hanging were all like people who've been cutting lawns and chopping trees and stuff like that.
You need to cut your lawn though, you can't live in Jumanji.
Yeah.
Well, the trees want you to live in Jumanji. But
the guy who, nurtured the plants and had the nursery, he didn't survive, did he?
No.
I don't think you ever saw him die. Was he in one of the groups?
Yeah.
Was he in the group where they were shooting themselves in the head? So you don't know if he made it or not.
But if he's propagating plants, it means he's going to be snipping some bits off plants.
Yeah.
He's essentially got like a battery farm of plants.
Right, yeah, true.
Concentration camp.
Oh, so we saw another cool death. Oh, yeah. We've gone way past it, but there was, talking of like good deaths, there was the scene with the man who climbed in with the lions.
Oh, yeah, but that's based on a true thing, though.
Yeah. Well, but why was that old lady like, here, look at this, to him when he had a little kid as well?
I mean...
A stranger.
It'd be like Don't take your kids to the zoo.
It wasn't the most believable lion ripping an arm off a guy, considering the lion managed to rip the guy's arm off without dragging him down, and it like tore off like it was a well-cooked bit of meat.
I mean, I kind of believe that though. Like the lion's bite strength and like how strong a lion is.
I believe they can do it, but without bringing him to the ground and then ripping it off.
Maybe
like
it was right quick, just like like when you pull a tablecloth off a table.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done that?
You look like you want to do it now.
I'm so glad I don't have a tablecloth on here.
But yeah, that's basically a true thing about a guy going crazy, and he had like a big cat sanctuary type thing. I think you were in Texas, maybe. But yeah, he just went mental and then like set his bears and his tigers and his lions loose and laid on the floor naked and let him eat him.
Why do they always have to be naked? Did he have really long balls?
I don't know.
Oh.
Lions, tigers and bears.
Oh my.
So do you know that Shyamalan was told that this was going to be an R-rated movie by the studio? So they said, we want you to make an R-rated film. He wasn't like, I want to go. They were like, we want you to do that. And he went back and forth with them, and they convinced him to make it more adult.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, he was quite open about it in like an interview that I watched, where he was saying that he was like, I'll give it a go, but they were like, you need to do this.
That's probably why it seems so shit then.
He is
just because like it's
focused, isn't he?
I mean, no. Like
he was deemed like the master of suspense kind of thing at the time, and then.
But if you think Unbreakable, superheroes, it's more of an adult take, but it's very like kids can watch that. Signs, it revolves.
Would you be
around.
happy with your child watching Split?
I mean, no, less recently, but
or
at that point,
The Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah, I'd let my kid watch
The Sixth Sense. Quite creepy.
Yeah, that bit when little old Ginge is in that dumbwaiter.
Ginger's in a dumbwaiter.
Yeah, and that weird voice is like.
I don't know what you mean.
Is it that party? That kid's party, and he gets in the dumbwaiter, and then there's that really fucking creepy, horrible man voice.
Really, and he get like scratches all over him and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean he gets in him?
You know the bit where the balloon floats
the
to the
kid
top?
gets in the dumbwaiter. The dumbwaiter where you can put food up and down.
Oh, right. I thought you meant like a dumb waiter. I was like, what film have I seen? I was like, what?
I want to see a film where a kid climbs inside a retarded waiter.
I'll play the retarded waiter.
I'm trash and know what a dumbwaiter is.
I ain't got a fucking clue.
You've seen plenty of films. You should know what a dumb waiter is.
I don't think people usually say it, though. I'm learning as we speak.
I think maybe I learned what it was called because when I was a kid, I wanted one, and I think I asked my mum for one.
So you were saying his films were child-friendly?
I think generally, maybe Sixth Sense is probably the hardest push away.
The Village. Not really child friendly.
Well, they were all PG-13s, he was saying, so like the equivalent of 12A. So yeah, you can take kids to those. But this was his first
Kids
ever.
at 12 are fingering. They're not children.
At 12?
Yeah.
Do you get fingered at 12?
Did I get fingered at 12?
I wasn't doing any fingering at 12. Anyway.
I don't want to contribute to this.
So yeah, we've had the lion killing. We've had... Then there's the guy who lays down and runs himself over with a mower. That was quite interesting as well.
I mean, why didn't they get the guy from E17 in that got his off his face on potatoes and run over his own head?
I love that story. I love that you blamed it on eating too many potatoes.
Once they split into groups and they all die, they're left with those two kind of chubby kids.
Fat
shaming.
I mean, if the shoe doesn't fit,
then you're fat.
I love that you mentioned it. It's not like you. I didn't really think. God, those two could do it going to the gym.
if you get fat, your feet don't get fatter. I suppose you have to be a certain level of fat for your feet to get fatter.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if shoe doesn't fit, doesn't work unless you're really
Well, it's
fat.
water retention, though, isn't it? Like, just go straight to your feet.
Imagine if that's where it all went.
You put on weight and it was just your feet first. Like, ooh, I ballooned to a size 12.
So the two fatties join their little group. So they are trying to keep the group smaller so they
Don't get got by the plants.
Yeah, so they get 2 additional people to hang around with them.
I think a scene that they just probably didn't put in was they just didn't want to get rid of 2 kids because they were kids at the end of the day. So
Yeah, but they could have just gone off with another group. There was no need for them to even have been there. I can't remember them being in it up until they separated. Do you think they were just like, we want a scene of kid killing?
yeah.
We want a shot where a kid gets his head blown off, and I liked that bit as well. Like, that was brutal. Like, how often do you see 2 13-year-old, they were fingering age, you were saying, chubby fingering, getting blown to death by a shotgun.
Oh my days.
Fingering.
Chubby fingering kids getting
Blown to
blown.
death. So that was quite good, but I did think that they bottled it a bit when they turned them. Those kids were perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden they turned into massive bell ends.
Yeah.
And open the fucking door.
That came out of nowhere and wasn't motivated.
They were going through puberty. They were going through puberty.
Hormones.
Yeah, just hormones and fingering.
Yeah, maybe they just not got the fingering quota for the day, and were just
Yeah.
like, you know what, I need to finger some bitch right now, otherwise I am gonna kill myself.
They need to make a prequel to this about just those 2 and their fingering hijinks.
And the thing is, if this is meant to be about the plants attacking people who have been bad to the environment and bad vibes and whatever, then why didn't the guy who shot 2 kids die?
Because you shoot 2 kids.
they were indoors.
Oh, I was gonna say
And they boarded the windows up.
maybe they could have I don't know, chucked them into a field for some fertilizer. Oh, you decompose there. The animals will come and eat you. The animals will then shit all over the fields and then fertilise the fields, and the circle of life will begin.
Yeah, you just quoting Lion King at me for the happening. Is that? Should we have had a cutaway of
Simba.
I love that the animals didn't get killed in this film. That was good.
I mean, they should have done, because some animals will
Eat grass.
Well, not just that. Deers fuck up forests. That's why you have to have a cull every now and again, because they sharpen their antlers and stuff
true,
on trees, and
bears
that fucks.
start forest fires?
Yeah.
Bears don't smoke in forests.
Maybe we didn't see all the deer killing scenes then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hang on. Wait, I'm just thinking about this now. Doesn't the whole
Wait,
film
Cham.
take place between 24 hours or 48 hours from the first people to the end? And those
I think it's
people
a
have
few
boarded up
days.
their house and decided that they're happy with murdering children as well.
I want you to remember to go back and take that audio clip of you going because it sounds amazing. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, the whole. I love it. There's a clip, a behind the scenes clip of Mark Wahlberg talking to M. Night Shyamalan about that scene, and he's like, "Why have I chosen the only boarded up house to go and speak to someone about getting some food?" And he's just like, 2 words for you, canned goods. But I was like, yeah, he's got a good fucking point. They're in a neighbourhood. Why have to pick the one boarded up house to be like, have you got some food, please?
Because
and he sings that weird song to him.
Obviously, if it's boarded up, then someone's taken the time to board up that house, meaning they're going to be in that house.
It happened a day ago.
And?
Do you think everyone else in that whole neighbourhood has been like, oh shit, something's going down, I need to throw all my food in the bin or eat it all? Every house will have food in it.
But the people in that house could have been like, you know what, let's go out, kill his neighbours, and steal their tins of tomatoes.
So they want to get in with the neighbour murderers.
If the fucking wind and the plants were killing people, I've got a zombie apocalypse plan down to a T.
Yeah, I
So,
have, but-
I'm pretty sure that I could tweak that to a fucking a cactus.
I think we
apocalypse
needed
plan.
a guy just going crazy and shooting at the wind to try and stop it.
Yeah.
I think just like, fuck you, wind!
That'd make about as much sense as
The
his
whole
fucking
film.
mood ring. What the fuck was with the mood ring? They're not real, are they? They just, I take it, they just change with your
It's just your
heat
body
or whatever.
temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad dialogue. It's bad
Juju.
exposition of bad juju.
So we're nearly at the end. They end up at Mrs. Jones's. That's her name, isn't it? She
can't
is
remember.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with the end of this film? Like, at the first point where they meet her on the porch and she says something about, you were eyeing up my lemon drink or whatever. Why didn't you just think, I'll go to the next house?
You fucking crazy
It's
bitch.
called
Yeah.
lemonade.
What
My
the
lemon
fuck?
drink.
Or maybe she just had like pure lemon squeezed in there. Just like,
Maybe.
do you want some of my lemon drink?
Maybe it was just limoncello.
Yeah, maybe.
What's limoncello?
That
Booze.
like lemony booze stuff. But you know what? There was quite a lot of fun to be had towards the end of the film with that lady. Like, I loved the bit where she slapped the little girl's hand when she went for a biscuit or whatever. That was a harsh slap. And I loved the bit where Mark Wahlberg took about 3 years to realise that wooden doll wasn't her. When he like walked into, he was fully in the room and was like, Mrs. Jones, and it was just not even under the
very
covers.
clearly.
Yeah, it wasn't like just the head poked out as he got closer. It was like, oh shit, it was just a full doll, and he was like, Mrs. Jones. And then what was the bit that you were talking about earlier?
The bit where at night she's like, I bet you're going to try and kill me in my sleep. And Mark Wahlberg does the most unconvincing, what? No!
Oh god.
It's the worst. And then it ends with that, like, because
In a
she
slave room
she
or
kills
something?
herself
Slaver's room?
because
Smashes
the wind
her head,
gets in. Yeah,
didn't she?
and
That
then,
whole group thing's gone out of the window by
Yeah.
that point.
and they're in opposite rooms, and they're like, this is probably the end because wind is,
Everywhere.
blowing.
The
And then so-
fields are swaying.
They decide to go out and be like, fuck it, we're going to die together, and drag the kid out with them.
Yeah.
And just commit.
But he's like,
try
I'm-
and commit suicide.
I'm coming to you. Why do they go?
yeah.
Pardon me. Just burped. Yeah, it
Yeah.
made no sense. And then, that whole end point. I mean, I've got to give him credit for making two people walking in a wind, like...
Dramatic as fuck.
At least in some way dramatic. Because I wouldn't have been able to do that. So then it ends. Mrs. Jones smashes her head in, doesn't she? They have a little chat about the mood ring down a pipe. War can't meet each other. The wind doesn't kill them.
And then we get
And
more
then it starts
exposition
in
saying
France
it
again.
stopped exactly like 5 minutes before they walked out. And we know exactly when the wind stopped because we have scientists.
And they're talking about it's just the start and it'll move on, and then we get that like end bit, that coda of France. Is it France?
Oh,
My
yeah.
subtitles didn't work on my version.
No,
Did they actually say anything?
I think it was something like, what was it like? Oh, it's happening, or
Of course. How many times did they say happening in this film? Fuck me.
yeah, like it's happening, or it's here, or some shit like that. But it's like, oh yeah, like it's just the world like getting rid of the pest. This is just saying plants are Hitler.
Yeah, plants are Hitler.
No,
I
because
agree with
Hitler like did like separation and like focused on Jewish people.
How do we know that everyone in this film wasn't Jewish?
That's true, yeah.
Everyone that died. All the survivors aren't Jewish.
Or some sort of other religion or faith basis.
So, are we going to say what we thought about it then?
It was shit.
You
I
didn't like
hated
then?
it. There's a reason why I've only ever seen this once, because nothing happens. It's called the Happening. Nothing happens in it.
Does it change your mind if you find out that M. Night Shyamalan said it was meant to be a B movie? That it was
It's
meant
not
to
a
be the
B
best
movie though.
B-movie
It's
you've
not
ever
a B
seen?
movie. You cannot spend thousands or millions of pounds on a fucking film, have Mark Wahlberg in it, and call it a goddamn B movie.
yeah.
It was shite. It was dog shit. And I hate it, and I hate you both for making me watch it again. And I'd rather watch FX.
At least it was.
Yes!
At least it was.
Win!
At least it was only like 90 minutes. So.
It's 90 minutes of my life that I'll never get back.
And
Yeah,
it
that's
felt
true.
like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It felt like I'd been watching this film for 30 years. It had taken 30
Spoilt Milk.
years. Yeah,
Right.
straight
Hobo?
up.
Well, if you can't guess my opinion, I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement with Katty. I think what this needed, the thing that really would have turned this around for me...
Explosions.
What, trees exploding in grass?
Trees throwing grenades. Danny DeVito
Yes.
as the Predator.
No, I thought Danny DeVito as a tree. I think this should have been a burn after reading style thing where it turns out that everyone we've been watching is actually just an idiot.
Yeah.
And they've been reacting and coming up with this crazy theory that it's the trees and they've been doing all this crazy thing and people have been shooting each other when it was something more mundane and normal. But it was just like this is what happens in a situation where no one knows what's going on. Things can get weird and stupid people will do even more stupid things. Because I was laughing just thinking about what if this was just something really... There wasn't really any big attack. Some people had died, but it'd just been like a bit of an accident and it'd been misreported. And then people had gone off, got on this train. This train happened to stop because communication went down on a train. It could happen. Still not a big terrorist thing. And it just got more and more. And that's what you find out at the end. It was a bit like, so what happens? Like, we don't really know. People just started shooting each other. Just like, what the fuck? But it didn't. And it was stupid, and it told us everything. It wasn't even like a mystery you needed to figure out because it told you everything every step of the way. So
It was making out that people watching this film were as dumb as the people acting in this film.
Yeah, that's a good chant. But we're not.
Spoilt milk for me.
Spoilt milk for him. Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it? This film.
This was your choice.
Yeah. Do you know what though? Right, I enjoyed watching it. Like on like a flat out. Like, this is just dumb as fuck. I'm enjoying how stupid this is. I enjoyed watching it. Like watching Venom. Like, Venom's a load of wank. But it's quite funny when you're watching it. But, yeah, I mean, it's spoiled milk all day, every day. But I did love watching it. I did love loads of the death scenes. I liked the... I feel like every so often, every 5 minutes in this podcast, I'm like, I like this death, and just describe one. But the baton with the gun, basically, when like one person shoots themselves in the head and another one like goes and picks it up and is like, I'm going to do that.
Like a relay race.
Yeah.
Kills himself, and even though he's meant to just shoot himself in the head and obviously drop, he somehow chucks the gun like a good foot or two ahead of him, just so you can get a cool shot.
It's the kickback.
Yeah.
Have you never shot a gun before?
You never shot
Hobo?
yourself in the head before?
It was ridiculous.
But I liked the way the blood squirted out of his forehead. That looked nice.
If you just want a film of deaths, then can you just suggest something better?
Like Saw.
There was no part of you that like quite enjoyed watching this and
No.
like laughing at Mark Wahlberg.
No. It was just
I enjoyed it.
frustrating. It was tedious, and I was thinking, I could be doing something better right now, like fingering. Just going out in the streets.
Fingering 12-year-olds. Is that the first time we've all said that a film's spoilt milk?
I think it is.
I feel like it is. I feel like at least the person who puts the film forward likes it in some way. Yeah. Okay then, so that's our first spoilt milk for The Happening. Our first review of the year, and we're all agreeing. It's terrible.
Shit.
Okay, until next time, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Get off my lemon drink.
My lemon drink.
Lemon drink was piss.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, you pieces of fucking shit.